Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. In the 2 drops coming your way today, we are going to take a look at the 65-ton Inner Sphere hero, the Roughneck Bolt. This first drop that's going to be playing in the background is a skirmish match from Viridian Bog, and as that plays out, we are going to start our deep dive into this hero mech. So let's roll up our sleeves and start where all good reviews should start, and that's with what you can expect to get from this mech when you buy it in the store fresh from the mech factory. So the stock loadout looks something like this. Popping the hood, we see 2 Ultra AC5s, 2 MRM 10s, 2 medium lasers, 1 small laser. That gives you a combined 43.7 alpha and a top speed of 64.8 kph. So looking at the stock loadout, this is going to be a mid-range engager with that weapons loadout. But a couple of things you want to pay attention to is, number 1, look at where those ballistic hardpoints are. They're high up in the side torsos at cockpit level, which is very advantageous for doing peaks vertically over the top of any horizon or anything that's in front of you. So that is something to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is the Roughneck chassis as a whole tend to have a reputation for being very, very tanky and very durable chassis. The Roughneck Bolt Hero is no exception to that rule. With all that being said, the next thing we want to concern ourselves with are what are the quirks that this mech brings with it. Well, automatically, since it's a hero mech, it's going to have the plus 30% C-bill bonus, and that's on your C-bills earned at the end of each drop. That is pretty much standard across the line for all the hero mechs, and this one is no exception. What we really want to look at is what other quirks does this mech bring to the battlefield. So checking those out, we see maybe a Spartan offering, because I see only minus 10% on weapons cooldown, plus 10% on weapons velocity, minus 10% heat generated. All in all, kind of a limited mix there for your weapons, but where it really gets interesting is when you look at survivability, because there you're going to see plus 4, plus 8, plus 10 to the armor. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? And the next thing is, look at the structure. That was plus 10, plus 15, plus 20. And those two combined are what makes the Roughneck so tanky and adds to its survivability on the battlefield. I can't stress that last bit of information enough. This mech has major ability to survive damage that otherwise would kill and cripple other mechs. Now use that to your advantage on the battlefield, because there's going to be times in this mech where you have an open component or multiple open components. The enemy pilots are going to see this on the paper doll when they scan your mech, and they're going to want to push into you and take advantage of that. Kind of like, I don't know, piranha smelling blood in the water, shark smelling blood in the water. You use your own analogy on that one. But they're going to come after you thinking that your mech is heavily damaged and going to be an easy kill. And a lot of times that just is not the case. So use it, maybe even a bit of a trap, because you're going to suck in the enemy pilots, and then you're going to do the reverse to them. They're thinking they're going to kill you, and you're going to be able to just light them up while continuing to take a lot of damage, even when it looks like your mech is on its last legs. Jumping back into the action on this particular drop, we started out rotating to the left-hand side, and that's because the enemy typically likes to set up in the Delta 5 area, especially on that high ground. Now I have moved back to the right-hand side because this Atlas, along with, I don't know, a couple other support units, are trying to get into the right flank of my teammates, and this we cannot have. So he is open right torso, he is open left torso. Let's see if we can do some torso shenanigans, and it looks like he shut down. There goes that right torso. That's what I was going for, and he takes me out. Okay, but at least I took his big gun off of the Atlas before I went down, and now it's just going to be a question of if my teammates can eke out the victory. So we're going to ride along with some of our teammates here. I am concerned because they just extended their lead from 4 to 5, 4 to 6, 4 to 7. They're starting to rack up the kills. The other thing that concerns me is my teammates in Delta 4 never took the Delta 5 high ground, and I think they're going to get focused from 2 separate high grounds at Delta 5 and also from Echo 5 as well. And we weren't able to wrap up these few units in the Echo 4, Echo 5 area, and the enemy has executed a great pincer movement coming at us from both flanks simultaneously, and they also control the high ground to boot. So I think it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel as far as my teammates are concerned. And sure enough, 4 to 11, there goes the last kill, bringing this match to a close. So switching over to our end screen, we wind up with no kills, but 4 assists, 618 damage done. Moving on to our next drop, this has us playing Assault Mode on River City. And as this drop plays out in the background, we are going to continue our discussion of the roughneck hero, the Bolt. And our next stop on our discussion has to be taking a look at my build, because obviously this is nothing even close to what the stock loadout is, and that's because I've gone a whole different route with this. So, popping the hood on this, you can see that I've turned mine into an AC2 carrier. I have 4 AC2s, targeting computer for just quick locks, whatever, and lots of ammo. That's it. Nothing else, nothing super fancy. Now, I could even take this to the next level, I know, and play around with the armor and add even more ammunition, and I may do that at some point, but this is what we're working with. Now, what this has done to my mech is nothing's changed as far as speed, because we're still at 64.8 kph, but our Alpha Strike has done an amazing change, because we've gone from a 43.7 alpha to an alpha of 8. Wait a second, I'm going in the wrong direction. No. I am going in the right direction for what this build is, because what you have to understand is those 8 damage from my 4 AC2s is going to be done in a very special fashion. And the name of that game is going to be long-range engagement and damage over time. So what I'm looking to do is to stay back and do my damage at extreme ranges, which the AC2s bring to the table. So we're talking at least 800 meters, maybe even more, I don't know. But I want to be long range, and I want to set up in positions where I can fire my AC2s over and over again and use that faster cycle rate and cycle time on these weapons to do damage to the enemy long term. And that's what I'm going for with this exact build. As always, however, make sure that you play around with this and try some different configurations before you just settle on one particular build. And as a matter of fact, if you have a favorite build for this mech, please feel free to drop it into the comments, just because we're all looking to try different things with our mechs and our loadouts. But the point that I wanted to make on this is, again, taking advantage of those high weapon mounts in the shoulders. That's what's so beautiful about this mech and why I decided to go with the AC2s after all. And a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the content thus far, why not take a quick second, give us a thumbs up on the video, and if the information contained in here has been helping you out even slightly, why not consider joining the Sleepless Nights Gaming Army? That's right, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out on any great future content like this. Jumping back into the action on this drop, as my team came down the Gulf line, I've held back into the hotel line. And what that has allowed me to do is stay behind these buildings and structure, giving me a little bit of protection, and I'm able to see over top of them and shoot over top of them while giving myself some protection, which has worked out wonderfully. I've been able to pick out targets at my choosing and engage them from range. And we're going to continue to do that even with something like Charlie the Dreadnought. We are going to light him up, and look at this. AC2's firing over and over again. He has a weak right torso. Now he has an open right torso, and I want that right torso because that's where a bunch of his ballistics are residing. There we go. We've taken all of those AC-10s off of line, and look at my mech. Now, I traded taking his right torso for him opening me up. I'm now open CT, right torso, right arm, but my mech is still in excellent shape, and I can continue the fight. Not that there's much of a fight left, as the score is 10-4, and we're just cleaning up the last two remaining enemy mechs. The Black Knight goes down, and here is Catapult Lima. He is last man standing, and as we get the kill on him, you're about to see what the power of AC2s over time can do. Checking our end screen, we got 1 kill, 8 assists, 5 kills, most damage dealt, and look at that, 947 damage done.